What would be the things that you want to be known for, like maybe after you're gone? Both like friends, family, and friend. I'd say family, and then friends and the rest of the world.
Uh, I think my story that I'm about to tell you would probably be the story.
Okay.
For a period of time in my life, uh, I smoked a lot of cigarettes.
Okay.
A lot of cigarettes. I was 2 to 3 packs a day.
Okay.
And it was so constant that I would even play drums with a drumstick in my hand and a cigarette in the same hand. And so that went on for a long period. There was a period in my life where um, I would I would I liked brandy and cokes a lot, and a few other things. Um, and for me, for that period in my life, I would several double brandy and cokes within an hour was a really good warm up for the day.
Okay.
That went on for a really long time.
Gotcha.
Uh, there was a long period in my life, a couple of decades, whatever it was, a few decades, where I was a connoisseur of weed. And for me, it was 24/7. Most people didn't know I was stoned because they'd never seen me straight. I covered really well. And and then one night, my best friend invited me out uh, uh, to go out on my birthday and introduced me to the wonders of cocaine. And that got to the point where it was like up to $600 in a night. Now, one day, April 15th, 1989, I quit smoking. Haven't had a cigarette since. Haven't cared to. Didn't go through a withdrawal. I quit. One day, I quit drinking. I have not even had a taste of a cup of wine, a glass of wine at a dinner table since. Nothing. Not even a boozy shake, nothing. And I didn't care to. I did not go through a withdrawal. One day, I quit smoking weed. Have not smelled it since. Haven't had a toke since. Haven't cared to. One day, I quit cocaine. Haven't seen it since. No desire to. Now, almost every person who's an expert will tell you that that's not possible. They will tell you that you will have to go into some sort of clinical therapy. That you will be a recovering something for the rest of your life. That's not possible, and you got to go through this 12-step program. Now, I'm not dissing those people that have to do this. Okay. I didn't. I am cured. That's different than being in recovery. I'm not recovering from anything. When I left it behind, I left it behind. When I quit, I quit. Now, I didn't do those all on the same day. But because he knew that if I'd done it on the same day, it's up in a basket case. But That's the way that is. And it's only because of him that happened. And I deal with the stuff I deal with, and from a little bit different viewpoint and perspective than most people. I'm not going to say not all people, but most people. Because most people go through life, well, maybe he is, maybe he's not, who knows, you know. No, I know. I can prove it. And most people now, anybody watching this right now, most of them are going, I was with this guy until this point, now he's nuts. Okay. Now, I am nuts, but I'm not crazy.
There's a saying that I've saying for a long time, and it takes guts to be nuts.
Because here's the thing. All these people go around saying, well, you can't prove it. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. Because there are things that happen that there's no scientific, earthly explanation for that to even be a possibility. Here's what I mean. One night, I'm driving my Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham with a Corvette engine in it down Highway 51 at night. And now at that point in time, that was a two-lane road, two-lane state road. And there was a pickup truck with a trailer behind it that was, in my opinion, just going a little too slow. Yeah. So I come out to pass him. And the thing is when I pass and I got a Corvette engine in, I use it, you know? I just like to make it instant. That's why I need a Mercedes 3, SL. Anyhow, so I'm right next to the right square beside this pickup truck and the trailer. Long vehicle. And here's Club 51. And somebody decided to pull out into the lane coming in my direction, right in front of me. There was no time or space to accelerate and go around the front. There was no time to brake and drop back and pull in. And there was no place to go to the left. I'm traveling a very high rate of speed, and this thing is closing in within milliseconds. And I did the only thing I knew to do, because I knew to do this. I yelled out, Jesus. And now here's the part where now you're going to think he's crazy. But I know I was there. I'm here to tell the story. I yelled out Jesus, and the next thing I knew, I looked in my rearview mirror, and that car that was in front of me was behind me going the other direction. Instantly. I did not blink. My eyes did not close. I wasn't going to miss this. He didn't come this way. He didn't come around me that way. He didn't come in between us. Instantly, that car was over there, behind me. I always wondered what went through the mind of that driver. It had to be his most amazing experience of his lifetime. There is no way to explain that. None. Not through any kind of physics, nothing, except it happened. There was one night on Interstate 94. I was on my way to Nashville. I like to leave late at night because I go around Chicago and
Less
stuff
traffic,
like that.
yep.
Yep. And it was in a snowstorm. Same Cadillac. And right when you cross the state line, that road comes around to the right, bends around to the right. And in a snowstorm, and once again, I was going just a little too fast. And I come around, and the car starts turning and spun on the snow. And now I'm going sideways, going this way. Here's my driver's door, and I look out the window there, and there's the steel light pole. And I'm going directly on a one-on-one sideways into that steel light pole at a high rate of speed. And I did the only thing I knew to do. I yelled out, Jesus. And instantly, the car turned around and headed on back on a true direction down the road where I should have been going in the first place. Now, at that time, there was no curve there, because I went back to check it. I said, did I hit a curve? No, there was no curve there then. And I didn't do any fancy braking. I didn't do any steering. It just happened. And there's no way.
There wasn't a dry pavement, right?
No.
Spot or something.
No. One night, not all that long ago, down on the south side, about Ryan Road or wherever it is down there, the interstate kind of drops down and does the curve. There's a curve. It drops down. So this is dead space. You can't see anything here. All you could see is the where the freeway ends, and then if you get up there, then you see it goes down. And I had a semi here that I normally would have passed because I was in the left lane. And there's a semi here, and I would have passed him. And for some reason that night, I was praying up till this point. And I'm not a guy that just all the time in the car I'm driving, I'm praying to the Lord and everything. No. But this night was different. I just felt like I should be praying, and I was. I had Christian music going on and so on and so forth. I was praising the Lord. And I held back from passing the semi. I didn't think anything about it. All of a sudden, here's a wrong way driver on the freeway coming in my lane. Come up around that curve, up over that hill, and he's right in front of me coming at me in my lane. I'd never experienced a wrong way driver before. You hear about it every once in a while in the news. And so here's the key. If I'd have been aside of that truck, I would have had no recourse. I'd held back, so it was simple for me to just drop into the other lane. That was not a coincidence. The thing about it is this, is God is real, period. And I could go on and on and on and on and on and on about miracles like crazy. My daughter Jen, she was 17 years old. She was doing missions work in Northern Ireland. They were leading a worship service in a church there. And there was an old guy there in the pew. And he wasn't even a believer. Okay? He was agnostic or whatever, but he wasn't. And he was shaking. He had a cane, and he was the guy had scoliosis and Parkinson's, and if you took his kneecap, it just flopped around on his knee. and he's shaking, the whole deal. Jen, they're leading the worship there, and God spoke to my daughter Jen, said, "See that guy back there? He says before the night's out, he's going to dance before me." Now, I'm paraphrasing this, but I'm really, really close. And God told her, "Go back and pray for this guy." So they laid hands on him and prayed for him. And this was a process. It wasn't just, amen, and okay. No. They prayed for him, and they kept praying. He had a steel plate in his back for the scoliosis or whatever. While they were praying for him, she's got her hands on him, and she feels the steel plate disappear. His kneecap solidified. The shaking stopped. He says, "Give me the cane, you don't need it anymore." He did. He got up and he went around the church. She said, "Whatever meds you've got, give them to me. You don't need them. You don't need them anymore. Don't take them anymore." He went to the doctor the next day to get this verified. The doctor looked at him, his longtime doctor, said, "There's nothing wrong with you." You can't explain that. That is beyond the unexplainable. So here's the thing. Here's what I tell people. Everything that God created was created to solve a problem, right down to the protons and the atom and this and that and this and that. Whatever it is that he's created, it's there because it solves a problem. Everything. There is no exception to that. No exception. So we were created to solve a problem. We each have our own individual assignment. We each have been put here for a reason to create to solve a problem. Every time I look and see something dysfunctional in our society, whether it's in business, whether it's in government, whether it's in family, whether it's in your personal life, whatever it is, every single time I look and see something dysfunctional, it's because somebody is breaking one of God's laws. 100% of the time. There's no 99% here. Every single time. Because God's laws work all the time, 100% of the time, for everybody. A person does not even need to be a believer for God's laws to work. One of God's laws is gravity. You don't need to be a believer for it to work. Okay?
Yep.
They work for everybody, all the time, everything. So when you and I look at something and we're assessing a problem, or we're assessing a situation, or we're trying to help somebody, or deciding what to do, if we apply God's laws to that situation, it's going to work 100% of the time. And that goes for finances, that goes for business, that goes for family, relationships, everything. And so if you want to have a fruitful life, make that come into play in everything you do, and it's going to be really, really wonderful. That does not mean you aren't going to have problems and challenges. But those problems and challenges that we have are designed to make us grow. And we don't learn on the mountaintop. We learn in the valley. It's those challenges that makes us grow, because whatever growth we go through there is going to be applied somewhere else. This is just a preparation and a training ground for something else we're going to undergo. And that's what I want to leave with people here.
Gotcha. That was deep. Well, I thank you. It was a very interesting couple hours here. I'm honored to be part of your story, and And I know that there's going to be much more to your story. I can envision the chapter 2 coming soon. Thanks again, Phil.
Thank you, Phil.